Today, Tim Elliott here on the program. Get ready to face off with Ben Nguyen coming up. UFC Fight Night 110, June 10th in New Zealand. Have you been over to New Zealand before, Tim?
No, this will be a first for me, so I'm excited to get another stamp on the passport.
It's kind of becoming now where you're traveling quite a bit that it really is starting to fill up your passport when you go and fight. Is that something that you kind of pride yourself on, is being able to go deal with jet lag, deal with weird food, deal with weird cultures, or strange cultures to you, and being able to come out and survive?
Yeah, man, I really, really enjoy it. The jet lag is a little bit of an issue, but as far as culture and food goes, I'm into eating weird stuff. I don't mind sleeping in the dirt, on the floor. I really enjoy that. So, I've been to several countries now fighting and just on vacation. And, I typically stick around like a week after the fight and try to enjoy some of the food and meet some of the people. And I've been doing a little research, and New Zealand looks pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm actually really jealous that I can't get to this fight. It's New Zealand, Australia are the two places I haven't visited yet that I still want to visit. I pretty much hit I've hit every other continent, gone every other place, almost every other country that I want to get into. But those are the two places I haven't gotten to yet. And they're when I saw this card, when the card first got announced, I was trying my hardest to get there, and it just can't work out. Like I couldn't even get there until late night the 10th after the fight is over.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was like, I just can't make this. I was going to pull every stop to get there so I could get there live. Even if it was like show up from the airport, go right to the arena and watch the fights. I was going to do it, but I just can't. I really want to visit New Zealand. I really think it's an awesome culture. From what I've read, obviously like you, I've never been. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you got to go in there and punch a guy in the face. And you got to kick a guy in the ribs.
Yeah, man, that's true, but that's kind of like a vacation for me too, man. I really enjoy fighting. I have a lot of fun while I'm fighting. Win or lose, I typically have a good time. And, getting to do it in a country that I've never been in front of a crowd of, people who love fighting. They love fighting in Australia. They love fighting in New Zealand. So I'm excited to be a part of that. And, I'll hang out and enjoy myself afterwards as well.
How long are you going to stay after the fight? Are you going to stay a full week?
I'm going to stay a week after.
Is your wife going to come out with you too and stay the week? Or
No.
You can be on your own. Okay.
Yeah, just me. No wife, no baby.
It's totally different, when you're traveling with somebody else as opposed to when you're traveling on your own. There are times where it's like, oh, this is pretty cool. I'm doing this on my own. But then it does. Some nights you're like, it gets a little lonely. You're like, I wish my baby and my wife were here. How do you handle those kind of times? Is it just Skype phone calls and FaceTime phone calls, or?
Yeah, lots of FaceTime, lots of phone calls. But man, at the same time, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I'm with my kid. Even here at camp, I have my baby here with me right now.
Yeah.
So I'm with her pretty much all the time. We get a lot of one-on-one time together. I feel like a little bit of separation is good. Usually after I'm gone for a little while and I see her the first day, she doesn't want anything to do with me, and she kind of gives me the cold shoulder. And then, after a day or two, she starts to warm back up, and we're back on each other's side. So it's good. Whenever I do leave and I'm going to be gone away from her, I usually take her to my grandmother's house where I have my sister, my aunt, my grandma. She kind of gets spoiled. So anytime I leave, it's typically really good for her.
Good. Yeah, it's a lot of people don't think like that, but it is important sometimes to get some distance from your kids and rethink and reevaluate and get back into it. So let's talk about Ben Nguyen. Let's. You said obviously this is a shorter training camp for you getting ready for Ben. What's the total training camp time on this one?
Do you know the total training camp time? 4 weeks.
So super short.
Yeah.
Okay. You were in the gym. I'm assuming you were in the gym anyway before you started training camp?
No, I actually did a month-long motorbike ride through Southeast Asia. I flew into Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, bought a motorcycle, and then rode through Vietnam, through Cambodia, and up into Thailand. So I was gone for a month on vacation, and I didn't do any training at all. Lots of beer drinking and running around. And
wow, that's a whole different conversation I want to have with you now. because that is one of the trips I want to do it, but I want to do it on a bicycle and not do it on a motorbike. I want to do it the exact same trip, but I want to do it on a bicycle.
Mine was on a 100cc Honda Win, so not really a bike that's meant to travel across country.
No, that's barely a daily commute bike.
Yeah.
Boy,
a really good time. I went with a military buddy. We planned the trip like 5 years ago, but he works for the government and has to leave for years at a time. And then
yeah.
right after the Louis Smolka fight, I got on a plane the next day and flew out there, and we did a month-long tour through Asia. It was pretty cool.
So you're talking about Louis Smolka. Your trips are planned. Like you kind of have an idea before you go to the fight. Hey, I'm going on this trip after. I'm staying in this country after. So when you lost to Demetrius Johnson, was the week trip after that, or the trip after that, any different than the trip you had after, say, Louis Smolka when you won? Or are the trips a little bit different when you lose? Like, yeah, it's the same trip, but your mentality is a little bit different.
No, man. Again, I realize that I can be beaten by a lot of guys, and I don't really dwell on winning and losing. My record already sucks, so I'm not the guy with the great record. All I really have is going in there and being exciting and being myself and having fun. And if I'm worried too much about losing, then I don't do that. The Demetrius Johnson fight, I had no worries at all. I knew I was already supposed to lose, so I had zero fear going into that fight. The Smolka fight was a little bit different. I felt a lot of pressure. I felt like I had to perform. I felt like everybody expected me to beat him. So, I feel like I didn't perform as well as what I could have. But losing the Demetrius Johnson fight was a win-win for me, minus the fact that that's the worst I've ever felt in a fight as far as like weight cutting went. I was hurting pretty bad. I just never felt that bad in a fight. But I got my name out there a little bit. I won $100,000. So for me, it was all a positive thing. Win or lose, I make the same amount of money. So that's all, at this point in the game, I'm just trying to enjoy myself and make a little bit of money. And, I got to do that fighting Demetrius Johnson. So it didn't matter really that I lost.
And to go back for a second, your record isn't fucking horrible, Tim. You're 14-7. There are guys out there that are 14-14 and 7-7. Those are shitty records, right? Like you're definitely winning a lot more than you're losing. And you're not losing the guys that suck. Losing to Demetrius Johnson is not like you lost to, this guy, who's this fucking BJ guy? Oh, he's the best fighter in the world. That's what he is. Like, okay, well, I lost to this guy. And he didn't get finished.
Right.
Like a lot of these other guys are getting finished. You're going all 5 rounds, all 5 minutes. And you said it was the worst weight cut, which means come 4th and 5th round, you have no energy left, no legs left, can't lift your arms up, and you're still fighting. And you were able to stay in the fight against the best guy in the world. Not the best guy in the weight class. The best guy in the world. So you coming out there, it's a typical wrestler mentality. If I'm not first, I suck. It's just how it works. Like, if I'm second, if I took the silver, it was a horrible tournament. You're like, well, not really, because you beat everybody else, and that's kind of where you're at. You're beating everybody else except for the top tier guys.
I know that I can compete with these guys, and especially Demetrius. There was a point in the time, I think in the second round, where I put my hands on my knees, and like my dad thought that I was joking around because the coach was saying that I was tired. But I wasn't tired, man. I was hurting. I was having really bad pains in my stomach. I felt like I had a line from my chest to my belly button. If I tried to stand up straight, it was like crippling me. So I had to stay bent over. I know if I get another run at Demetrius Johnson, that I can do much better. Not saying that I'm going to beat the guy, but the first 2 rounds that I had with him, I can fight like that for 5 rounds if I'm feeling good. I didn't have that in me that fight, but I know I can do a lot better than a lot of these other guys are going to throw out there for him.
So, like you said earlier, it's going to be about a 4-week training camp. Is it condensed when you come to these training camps? So, like now you're talking about before the weight cut was bad. Being in shape goes to the weight cut. So I'm assuming you have to cut weight for this one as well. And then trying to get ready for these later rounds, you're going to have that line again between your chest and your stomach where you can't stand all the way up because of the weight cut. So.
Well, see, I got real lucky in Southeast Asia and doing this motorcycle tour. It's, I was eating a lot of like bugs on a stick and fish heads on a stick and just eating stuff off the side of the road. There's no such thing as not organic there. Everything is organic. Everything is fresh or coming right out of the ocean. So when I got back from my trip, my weight was fine. And as far as the camp goes and only having 4 weeks, Robert Follis was already here preparing Joe B for this fight. And, he told me right when I got here, he said, hey, you can beat this kid with the skills that you have right now. All we need to do is get you in shape. So pretty much I've been out here for 4 weeks just really working on my cardio. I'm using the UFC headquarters here. They have strength conditioning guys out there. I'm using the recovery therapy, the cryo, the Novathor bed, which is, it's like a tanning bed. But I can train hard all day, kill myself, feel like crap, go jump in this bed for 20 minutes, and then I can watch my recovery peak with this heart rate monitor and stuff that I'm wearing, to where I can keep training every day without, going down into the red. So I'm doing things that I've never done before and using, state-of-the-art equipment and a facility that I've never had access to before. And I'm taking advantage of it. It's been pretty much me there by myself this whole week. I don't see any other fighters there. It's like my own private facility. So I've been really taking advantage of that. And, I have a whole group of coaches at Extreme Couture that are like just focusing on me, what I need to do. Everything is personalized. And I just feel like I'm really taking the right steps to get back to where I need to be.
So let's talk about the training facility for the UFC for a second. Obviously, I've seen the video of it. I've seen the CNN report on it. I've heard other fighters talk about it. But it's the first time I'm actually interviewing somebody that's using it currently right now. Is this so? Obviously the goal is to get every fighter that's in Vegas, if they want to use it, they have the ability to use it whenever they're there, whether they're living there or just in there visiting or what have you. But you've had a couple different strength and conditioning coaches. You've been around the block for a minute. It's not like this is your first time with these guys or with this type of training. Is their training better than anything else that you had? Is it about the same? Is it, because it's tough to tell when you're first meeting a new coach?
Yeah, I'm starting with a new strength and conditioning guy up here, and he is coming into the UFC headquarters. But the credentials that the strength and conditioning guys have at the new UFC headquarters it's a mile long. They've worked with colleges and real athletes. But the thing that gets me the most is the facility, having the equipment at your fingertips. You can have the best strength guy in the world, but if you don't have the means to use them, then you can't really get the most out of them. This facility is it's got so much stuff. It's like there's more stuff than I can use. There's more stuff than I'm capable of using. So the guys have the knowledge, obviously, but it doesn't take a ton of knowledge to get somebody in shape. The thing that is really helping me the most is the recovery side of it. I was overtraining for a long time and just worn down and run ragged, and I never really rested. And now I have a coach here that's smart enough that knows when I come in, he can look at me and he's like, hey, man, you need to go chill out for a little bit. Go rest. Go get some recovery. And in the past, I would fight against that, and I would go ahead and train. And then it just kind of turned everything into work. And I didn't get into this because I want to work 8-hour days. I want to work out for a couple hours and then go chill. And I'm just super lucky. I have a whole team. Like I said, there's 10 different guys helping me out, telling me what to do, telling me what to eat, telling me where to go, telling me when to rest. And I need that. I didn't think that I did, but I need that. I'm a wrestler. I'm good at taking orders. I don't argue, and I can learn something from anybody. So anybody who's taking the time to try to help me, I'm going to keep my mouth shut and try to listen and do what they say. And I feel like I'm going to benefit from that.
That's a kind of a rare attitude right now in our sport. That most fighters are like, well, it's my body. I'm the one out there getting punched in the face. I'm the one out there getting my limbs ripped off. So I want to do it this way. I want to do it that way. And they either undertrain or overtrain depending on their mentality. But you're like, look, these 10 guys are telling me what to do. I just got to listen and do what I'm told. And everything will come out fine in the end. And that is a wrestler's mentality. We're kind of used to blindly following as we're supposed to, because it does work. It does work at the end of the day. Following orders does work.
It really does. It's been tried and tested. And that's the thing is I'm coming down here and doing my camp and I'm paying a guy. So if I'm going to pay a guy, if I trust enough to pay a guy, I'm going to do what the hell he says. I'm not going to waste my time and I'm not going to waste my money. And I don't know if you know Robert Follis, but pretty much everything that comes out of his mouth as far as fighting goes is gold. It's like he's walking around spilling gold coins and I'm just following him behind him, picking them up. So I guess we'll see. It'll show in the end, whether it's working or not. But I put my trust and my faith into him already. So whether it's working or not, I'm going to go ahead and believe in it.
And I saw a post by Eric Nixick over at Extreme Couture that Randy Couture was in there actually running the pro practices a couple days ago. How was it with Randy in there? Like, did the attitude change? Did the intensity change when he shows up?
I did a little bit. Everything got a little bit more still, a little bit more quiet. He doesn't talk loud. Like Follis is a really loud, outspoken guy, and Randy he talks a little bit more methodical and slow and quiet. But like when he says something, you can tell that everybody there is listening. He's not wasting any words. He's not wasting any energy. And you can hear a pin drop in there. There's no laughing. It's serious business, which I really like. I think I just picked up a couple of little things as far as getting into the clinch, from a striking distance without taking damage, which just a little bitty thing. And I'm like, perfect for me. So, it's great to have a guy that is, he's such a legend that like all he has to do is walk in a room and stand there, and like everybody's just waiting to hear him say something. So it's great. I've never really had that as far as a coach before. Somebody who just could capture a room without doing anything except for standing there. And Randy Couture is a guy that can do that.
Well, Tim, I'm glad that you're down to Extreme Couture getting your training on. It seems to fit you well. It seems to work in with you. And we'll talk more after the fight's over. I want to talk a little bit more about your trip to Southeast Asia, but I also want to talk about more about the training facility, because now you'll be with the new headquarters for UFC, because now I have used it. I went and fought after I've used it. So here's another assessment of what it was like being over there. And it's pretty important to have things like that and have that access. And that was the difference between the top tier guys and everybody else, because they had the money to go to those facilities all the time. And now it's accessible to everybody that's on the roster, which makes it a more a more even playing field, because everybody has access to the same stuff now.
For sure, man. And Forrest Griffin has been in there every single time that I'm in there. And man, he's really pushing it on guys like, hey, you need to use this. Go. Don't be scared. Go tell them. Go ask them. They're here to help you. And like I was a little bit leery about it at first because it's such a nice area. I thought there was going to be people standing over you everywhere you go. But it's not like that, man. You go in, you tell them your name. They send you on your way, ask you if you want lunch, ask if you want a recovery smoothie for when you're done working out. And they just kind of let you do your own thing, which, man, it's been really, really great. And it's a $12 million just for the building.
Yeah.
And, I'm gonna take full advantage if I can while I'm here. And they're encouraging that. They're not following you around, like badgering you about picking up your crap, which, I really like that. They kind of are trusting us to go in there and treat it like it's our gym. And I appreciate that.
Last question before I let you out of here. You were talking about weight, short training camp. You said your weight was good when you got back from Southeast Asia, but how much weight are you going to have to cut for this one come fight week?
I was about 49 yesterday with 2 gallons of water in. So it's pretty good. Man, like I said, my Demetrius Johnson fight was really bad, but my Louis Smolka fight was the easiest weight cut that I've had. 30 years old, by far the easiest weight cut that I've had. And, I think we got it figured out. What hurt me with the Demetrius fight was the Ultimate Fighter, making weight 4 times in 4 weeks. And then after that, I hit like 165 pounds, and I just couldn't get rid of any weight. And I couldn't even really train because I was having to focus so much on just dieting and losing weight that I kind of forgot the importance of, preparing for a guy. And if you don't prepare for a guy like Demetrius Johnson, he's going to be a hard guy to beat. So, mistakes that I made that I feel like I'm tightening up right now. And, hopefully it'll show when I get a rematch with him.
I like it. Tim, thanks so much for taking some time with us today, man. Have a great rest of your training camp. We'll talk to you after the fight's over.
Yes, sir. Anytime. Thank you.